Hey everyone, this is a tutorial on how to incorporate movement with animations in XNA. I did a previous tutorial on animation. Uh, the link is in the description below. So if you haven't watched that one yet, I would recommend watching that because this uses the code that we created in that tutorial. So you should have a project that has an animation playing. That's basically it. There's no movement, but what we want to be able to do is be able to press the keyboard right, up, down and left and make the player move in that direction with the corresponding animation. So as it stands, we have one animation, the right anim. So what I've added is the up anim, left anim, down anim, because we want them to play when we press the corresponding keyboard key. So again, those files are in the description as well, so you can use the same textures or use your own. So let's get started. Well, the first thing we should do is probably add these textures. So we already have right walk, so let's just call them up walk, down walk, and left walk. And as before, we want to be able to load them just exactly the same way. So we have up, down, left, right, up, down, and left. Texture names. And the asset name is the file name without the extension. So this is up anim, down anim, and left anim. Okay, so that has loaded the content for those 4 animations. So now the next step would be, we probably need to refactor a little bit of what we've already done, because I want to be able to put the logic of the keyboard inputs in here. I don't want it to get too messy, so basically all of this can be put into its own method. And we'll call that method animate. So let's make a private. It's not going to return anything, but it will have a parameter of game time. And we're just going to put all of this code from elapsed all the way down to the source rectangle getting updated. So cut that out, Control X, and paste that in here. So that's now our animate, and we'll put that method in here and use the updates game time here. Now that should play exactly the same. So yeah, so nothing's changed, but we've made the update method a lot tidier so that we can put in our own logic now for the keyboard presses. So keyboard input. We're going to want to be able to press the keyboard keys, so to do that we need to use the keyboard state. We'll call it KS, and we'll put all of it in our update method. So we're not going to be using the controller, so let's get rid of this just now. Okay, so what we're going to do is the keyboard state, we want to get the current state. So every time this is called, which is like 60 times a second usually, well that's what it tries to do, this gets called, so it's going to check what the keyboard state is. So what we want to do is we want to check if the keyboard is key down, keys, we'll just start off with 1 just now, keys.right. We want to be able to move the character to the right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to be able to change, because what we're using to where the player is positioned at the moment is destination rectangle, and that is just initialized here. That doesn't get updated. So 100 to 100, so that means 100 from the left to the right, so 100 pixels, and then 100 down. That's how it's been drawn. So if we move that in the update logic, it's not going to move because it only gets set once here. So what we need to do is we need to move this. In fact, we can copy it. We'll still initialize it on the first load, because that's always good to do. We'll put it into the update method right at the end. And we can't hard code these. These need to be variables now. So we need to include a vector2, which basically stores an x and y coordinate. We'll call it position, and we'll just initialize it here as well. Now, what we want is to change these hard-coded values into those variable values. So we'll call that position.x and position.y. Now this will complain and say it doesn't work because the rectangle is expecting an integer, well 4 integers, and position being a vector2 will be a float. So all we have to do is cast it to an integer. And now, let's make sure that's still the same just now. Yes, top left, because I didn't set it to 100, 100, but I initialized the vector 2, it defaults to 0, 0. So that's why it's at the top left. And then if the keyboard is pressed right, we want to move it, let's say 10 F to the right, the X. So let me press the key to the right. Oh, that's way too fast. But it's working. But let's say 2. There we go, suits the animation as well. So now we're pressing the right key and the player moves. Great. So now what we want to do is we want to repeat this whole process, and we want to check it for left, so that'll be minus. We want to check it for up. Now instead of position X, we're going to be doing position Y, and that will be minus, and we're going to be checking that the down key is pressed. And for this one, all we need to do is change it to Y. So now that should, excellent. Okay, so now we go up, down, left, right. But now, as you can see, the animation's the same. What we want is when the left key is pressed, play the left animation, up key, play the up animation, etc. So how do we do that? Let's see. So when we're always drawing the right walk. Well, let's change that. Let's make a variable called current anim, and that's going to be a texture. So let's add it to our list of textures, and we'll initialize it after load content, and we will keep it defaulted to the right walk. So start with the right walk. So that should stay the same now. Yep, so we're still okay. So what we can do now is a very simple, say current anim, in fact, is equal to right walk. If it's left, the current anim is equal to left walk, and same for up, and same for down. Now press right, right animation plays, left, down, up. Brilliant. So that now works. Now, what I don't like is that even when you stop moving, the animation still plays. So let's fix that. So we would need a statement here. We want that to the source direct to play the first frame. So if we stop moving, I only want this frame to play. But if I'm facing left, I only want this one animation to play, etc. Right. So again, that's quite straightforward to do. We'll just put an extra bit of logic. So this is where it plays which frame to play. So what we want is an else statement, and we'll put the source rectangle is equal to 0, because what we wanted to do is we wanted to draw the top left of the drawing 32 pixels wide and 48 long, because that is the dimensions of this first frame. So for that else to work, we need to make these if, else ifs, else if, else if. And so now, oh, actually I did something a little bit wrong. Let me just check what it is. 0, 0. Oh, that's because animate's always playing. We only want animate to play when the key is pressed. So the animate method is put in the logic here. Sorry, that's something that should have been said at the start. This logic should only be running when the key is pressed, so that the animation doesn't play when it's not pressed. But it should, and that's it stopping when we stop. So now the first frame only plays when it's standing still, and it plays fully when the key is down. Okay, so that can certainly be improved. It's not very object oriented. That's something that you could refactor out, make an animation class. I've actually got a tutorial on how to make an animation class, so that's a more object oriented way of doing it. I just did this one to show the kind of logic on how to add movement to animations, and I hope it's been useful. I hope to get more videos, so please keep commenting on what you would like to see, and I will certainly um, get a video made as quickly as possible on people's recommendations of what they'd like to see and what they want to help with. So thank you for watching. Thanks. Bye.